What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back here in Plays and Swords. This is, of course, Road to Ragnarok episode 4, the weekly podcast series dedicated to any and all things God of War Ragnarok, from news, lore, reactions, and upon release, our review along with the spoiler cast to end the series. With me, of course, Thor, son of Odin's body double himself, Kyle Stevenson of PS Trophy Room, and 6-1 Indie. You know what I'm saying? We can't forget the 6-1 Indie. How you doing, my boy? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, other than this overwhelmingly powerful cricket in the background, so I apologize, listeners.
We're going to say it adds to the ambiance. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to do my best to mute when I'm not talking, but boy, oh boy.
You know what I'm saying? It's
it literally, I'm thinking of it as, like, I just finished God of War 2018, like, maybe an hour ago before we hopped on here. I feel like the cricket is currently trying to tell his thoughts on what I played and his hype about what he was watching me do. So that's how I'm going to frame it and not be as mad as I am currently about this stupid damn thing.
He's like, wait a minute, Atreus is who? yo, he's mind's blown.
Yeah.
His mind's blown. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch as much as I wanted to, admittedly, but 6-1 Indie did that 24-hour extra live stream. You know what I'm saying? How was that?
Yes,
I think I popped in around like 11 o'clock or so at night. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, sweet. Thanks for checking it out.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to come on, but I don't know if you had already left the stream or like if you were doing something else or sleeping.
I was there for wait, 11.
They were playing
Saturday night?
Yeah, they were playing a scary game. I know Mike was there.
I was there for sure. Maybe I was just not on the couch. Maybe I was away for a second or stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for checking out. Thanks for everyone who came and checked out. We raised close to $1,000, which is fantastic. Any money towards sick kids is a good thing,
of course.
And capped off the weekend with my first ever tattoo. So I'm.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What? Do you mind telling what tattoo it is? What is that?
It might not be picked up on camera very well. So I am an uncle to 3 amazing nieces and a nephew, who I treat as my own children pretty much. And so I always tell them I love them to the moon and back. So it is a tattoo of an astronaut sitting on a crescent moon. So me and then their initials in stars around, or like their first name initial around. And Kelsey, who co-founded 6-1 Indie and who is living her dream as a tattoo artist now, it did the tattoo for me, so it's extra special meaning there. It was very, very nice.
Look at that.
Didn't hurt at all, really.
No,
I was very nervous, Kev.
No, okay.
Extremely nervous.
Look,
but like I have years of getting allergy shots every week, like 11, 12 years, and just the other kind of really horrific injuries and pain that I've felt.
Right.
It was just a mild annoyance.
Okay.
Right. Like it just felt like a sped up sunburn in like real time. That's what it felt like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My thing is that like growing up, like, and like even somewhat still to this day, a little bit different in terms of this day, but like I never had a desire to get a tattoo, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just never have thought like, oh yeah, like that's what I want to get or whatever, you know? But you know, like I'll tell the Road 2 podcast when I'm saying like my lady has brought up the prospect of like getting a tattoo in the future, you know what I'm saying? And like she has a cool idea that like I actually like, you know what I'm saying? And it like encapsulates like this long distance period that we're in right now, you know what I'm saying? And like I do like the idea of it, but like it's more so just like, oh man, like that's always gonna be on me, and like it's it's more just like, am I still gonna enjoy where it's placed? Like I think that's like the big thing. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot to think
totally
about.
Fair. That is a reason why I didn't get one before, because I would always either chicken out or be like, what if I don't love it?
Yeah.
And like I'm very happy, like I can't stop staring at it. So right now maybe I'm in the honeymoon phase, but like I really enjoy it. It would be weird, like I don't understand how people get tattoos in places you can't see them. Like right, like
okay.
I'd rather have something where I can look at it and be like, man, that's cool, or like just a little, inspiration throughout the day when you need it.
Yeah.
So like people who get it like in the middle of the back, like
it's like why? Okay, I see what you mean.
I mean, I get like, maybe it's for other people at that point.
Right.
But I don't know. It's very interesting.
I do
don't
like.
understand. I'm not there yet.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah, like I mean, I do have like I do like having things that are like are essentially permanent to me. Like these two bands I've had on for like 6 years at this point. Literally never taking these off ever, never ever. You know, like it's like so like I feel like I can find the right tattoo and then be cool with it. You know, it's just that process of doing it. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. Next step is getting the Secret Symbols tattooed on my other forearm.
Who I've definitely thought about getting something PlayStation related.
But like I feel like I've told you this before, but my PlayStation idea for the Secret Symbols is not the traditional Secret Symbols. It's to take iconic PlayStation weaponry or symbols and make them into the shapes of the symbols. So like the Blades of Chaos being the X.
I like
or
that.
like
I like
the
that.
circle, Nathan Drake's ring. And
right,
like
okay.
like simple like things like that, and make it, you know,
triangle
of the games that I love.
Aloy's Focus.
I was thinking the Focus, or I was thinking the Firefly logo.
Oh, damn it! No, that's good. That's good too.
I don't know, or take the triangle and have 3 different weapons make the triangle as they're like leaning up against each other.
Okay.
Square is the tricky one. Because like I only think of like the Crash Bandicoot boxes.
That's not bad.
It's not bad, but like
it's not bad. Okay, so just boxes.
It takes away from all the other things.
There's a God of War chests. You know what I'm saying? But like you already got the blade, so you're probably already good with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know. I have to think a little bit more of that one, but yeah, I'm very excited about getting that. Probably another 10 years or so.
I like that. That's good. That's good stuff. Well, it was approximately Monday morning, yesterday, when like I felt the itch. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point in a Road 2 series, I get the itch of like, okay, now I'm like real excited, and like now I'm like really itching to like get this game in my hands, and that is happening this week. 13 days until God of War Ragnarok. From when we're recording, it's 15, but you know what I'm saying. Upload Thursday.
Yeah.
Y'all know.
And it totally doesn't help that I probably did the same as me. When I heard that there were previews, I had to listen to a couple of them, and
I only did one. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I only did one, and so far we're looking good. No, we're looking good, boys. We're looking good. We're looking real good in the previews. We will get to that here in the news section. But before we get to that, of course, housekeeping here. Catch the show on youtube.com/plays and source, as well as podcast services just like Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, etc. via our anchor link down below in the description. Like the video and rate the podcast. It really does help us get seen by more viewers, and you can enter in our giveaway as well. Rate the podcast, leave some stars, or write a little comment. You know, tell me anything. You know, but only pick on me. Don't pick on Kyle. You know what I'm saying? Kyle, no.
That's okay. I can take it.
Okay, maybe give him just like a little bit, you know, a little bit. I'm
like a little jab, and then
absolutely
have the haymaker.
I'm definitely down for the. Hey, I'm definitely down for the smoke. Give it to me. All right. And then down below as well, you can let us know what you like or dislike about the show, and connect with us further on Twitter and Discord in the description. A lot of people on Discord lately. A lot of people come in Discord. Shout out to that. And if you're feeling generous, feel free to hit that join button to become a member of the channel with the $1 Prince tier, just like the people Musa, and our $5 King tier members, just like Caleb Kaiser, the Arachnite, and the homie Owen. And check out our latest uploads. I think by the time you guys see this, you will see the PS Plus games for the Essential tier for November 2022 for PlayStation Plus. Go check out that. We did. I actually did a really cool video about a story that Kratos tells to Atreus in the boat. That is about the horse, the hunter, and the stag. It's a real ancient Greek fable, right? But Kratos also, you can see how this story parallels with Kratos' past, involving Ares and Ulrich, the barbarian king. It's a very, very cool video that I just found when I was playing through God of War 2018, and like I know it's Kratos saying this story. I'm like, like this, he's actually kind of telling Atreus' past in a way, but not directly saying it. So you can go check out that. I think last week it was already up, but Shaping the Story trailer breakdown, if you missed that, I think that was up by the time we recorded. Might not be, but definitely go check out that. And then the other trailer that just came out this week, the combat and enemies trailer, definitely still working on that. But I do want to say one thing. And I will say this in the beginning of the breakdown as well, once I start recording it, but I've been on PlayStation's ass for, not having these dedicated state of plays, right? You know what I'm saying? I will say, I am pretty fulfilled in the department of wanting a state of play, right? That like in-depth information thing. It's not one-to-one with these trailers, but I think they're okay.
These little dev diary things, they're doing its purpose, and they're doing a good job.
Yeah. It just, I think like The Last of Us, it was only one of those, And here, like, there's a lot of the new gameplay in here, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, it's not exactly what I want, but they're still giving me something, So we gotta just, be fair about that. But we'll talk about that on the news section. I've been talking for too long. Have you been playing anything else besides God of War, Cal? Because I know that's going to be kind of our main topic. I don't know how much time you want to spend with that.
Yeah. Like we'll get into. I've been playing a lot of God of War and like a bunch of stuff during the actual live stream, but not enough to like really comment on anything. Like I started Little Nightmares 2 on stream late in the morning. That's a really, really cool, aesthetically pleasing horror game. There's Who Pressed Mute on Uncle Marcus, which is an FMV game. It's like a murder mystery thing. We thought it'd be a great time, Kev. But we sucked at it. We weren't getting the clues, and then come to find out that was kind of purposeful because you have to play it like 5 or 6 times to get all the clues. And we were just like, no, thank you. We were a little bummed by it. But we had a great time. We made fun of everything. It was a good, gaming kind of thing. Trying to think what else we played. Played some Fortnite. Everyone knows Fortnite, so indeed, that's fine. Everyone does know Fortnite. I did notice, because I haven't played in like forever, right? And I see that big, what's it? That big tornado like in the middle of the map. I don't know if you played recently, but like there's this big tornado that's just kind of there. I forgot what location it's at.
In Fortnite?
In Fortnite, yeah. And I was like, I wonder if I could just land in the middle of that and just kind of be secret, right, and not do anything.
Yeah.
But I was able to glide over it, and because it is a tornado that's pushing wind up, I was just stationary right at the top. I put the controller down. I was like, I'm gonna try to win all the way up here.
I
made it to top 20.
Okay.
And the only reason I had to move is because I got out of the circle, so I had to move.
I see. Okay,
sucks.
I see.
Because nobody would have found me up there. It was perfect.
Someone's gonna win that way, though. Someone definitely gonna win that
1,000%. I think Australian streamer Laserbeam did it. He was sitting in a tree or something, and the only reason he won is because his roommate was in the same game as him, and he ran. And when it was those two left, he ran in the other room and unplugged his console, so he would get the win. That was a great video. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. We'll get into God of War 2018, why I think it's one of the best games ever made in a little bit.
That is indeed a fact. That is
also the cricket shut up, so I think it found the trap.
Oh man, look at that! Look at that! It's his Fimble winter now.
That's a win for Kyle right there.
Look at that! I bought Modern Warfare 2, for that campaign early access. You know what I'm saying? I just need a little something. And hey, super long story short, whatever. I go back with COD a few years now, you know what I'm saying? Like ever since pretty much World at War was my first COD I like bought at launch. Modern Warfare 2, etc. We go on and so forth, whatever. So definitely over the years I've definitely tempered my COD fandom, but I still enjoy the series. I still pop in here and there, check out what's up, you know what I'm saying? And I played this campaign, right? I gotta say, man, look, I really enjoyed it. Like okay. I really enjoyed the campaign. Now there are a few things that I think are a bit problematic with this campaign. that some could construe it as being realistic, which hey, I guess I can understand that, but didn't make me feel comfortable or good to do these things necessarily, right? Was that the intent of Infinity Ward? Perhaps, who knows, right? But I'm particularly talking about that clip that's been going around on Twitter, and when I played that part in the game, I had the same reaction. Like, so you're going through this like residential like trailer park place, right?
Okay.
And so you're having to calm down other citizens that are around that heard you and your other operative like hop a fence, and you're like going through this RV park, right? So they start coming out trying to say, hey, yo, what's up, get off my lawn, and you're directed to to aim your weapon at them.
Oh, geez.
To de-escalate the situation.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay,
Ooh.
that's
This is a remake Infinity Ward. You could have changed a little bit.
I was like, okay, that's
Yeah.
that's quite interesting. That was quite interesting to say the least. Didn't particularly enjoy that. Then there's this one maybe a little bit less so. This one might be a little bit of overreach, but I still felt like kind of like, okay, like that was a choice. We have soap in this soap and Marfa too. Of course, you can't have. You have the task 141, right? You got Ghost, you got Captain Price, you got Soap, and you got Gaz, right? But specifically, it was Soap and Ghost. And I mean, granted, Ghost never shows his face, but I can presume that he is a man of Caucasian variety, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
he burns like me in the sunlight real bad.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. He'll need that SPF 100, But you're working with I forgot how you call like the CIA for like the Mexican forces, but like you're like working as well with higher ups in the Mexican military to assist you in locating a terrorist, whatever, right? Yep. So there's, as the game goes on, Ghost and Soap start calling the lead of the Mexican army forces, however you want to call it.
Sure.
They start picking up on the Spanish, and they're like calling him like, oh, like mi amigo, mi hombre, and all that, and like they're like using more like Spanish as the game goes on, right? Which, like, I don't know. I guess that's not like the worst thing in the world, but like it was like okay, like it's a choice that I can see people definitely being like, all right, but
there's plenty of people who do that in real life, and it's always a bad look.
Yeah, like
copying accents when you speak to somebody who has an accent, and like subconsciously maybe you're doing it, but that still doesn't make it okay.
Yeah,
kind of like that kind of situation. And
that I run into a lot when I'm serving at tables, right? Like sometimes like I'll get the grandma that like wants to say like adios, or like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
yeah.
I've spoken English since this entire time, fam. Like this entire time. You know what I'm saying? And like, like
you don't need to relate to me that hard.
Yeah,
it's fine.
And like, hey, maybe this is my like, hopeful thinking, wishful thinking, whatever. But like, I like to assume that grandma that says that to me like isn't trying to be hurtful, But like,
absolutely,
it does still feel kind of weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But other than that, like, hey, I heard people online talking about, like this campaign is cookie cutter, like it's, just run of the mill modern warfare, but like, I thought that we were doing the like level design, and I guess not so much like the level design, but like the instances that they put you in this campaign, I thought were just very unique and very fresh and felt really cool. There's also specific levels that like have you doing very different things that you have never done, or at least as far as I'm aware, you've never done in the COD game, where there's one where like you're controlling these like cameras in a facility that you have to lead Ghost to infiltrate, right? So you're having to direct him, and you're telling him to knife this guy, attack this guy, almost kind of like a RTS type of wait, do I want to say RTS? Yeah, like I guess similar to like a RTS type of style of game, and like
More of like a strategy thing.
strategy. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
and like cricket's back. But like I just thought that was
Right? Yeah, I don't. It might be a different one. I don't know, but it's annoying.
but like I just thought that was very unique. There's a bit in a level that you're having to hang upside down from a helicopter and shoot at different like enemies in trucks that are chasing you. Like it's just like some crazy like wild something. Like I was like, hey, like I had a lot of fun with this campaign. You know, I thought it was one of the better ones for sure. And I liked 2019. I think the last thing I'll say as well, you know, really did enjoy this campaign as well, but the quality of the character models and the rendered cutscenes in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 2019, and pretty much every COD since the new engine that's been implemented for the most part, like it's really underrated. Like I think people really gotta like look at those cutscenes. Like yo, like that looks really good. Like really well done, high quality stuff. So shout out to that. I enjoyed it.
How does it feel though? Does it feel good to play?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it definitely.
Okay.
I'd say it like feels definitely like COD. I'm someone that believes that when it comes to first person shooter mechanics and the feel of the game, I don't think anything else tops Call of Duty. That's just me personally, right? Like I just think like that's really at its core why that fan base has stayed, because it feels so satisfying. From whether you're using a sniper to an assault rifle to like an SMG, like I think no other game has fully mastered that and made it feel that good across an array of different weapons. You know what I'm saying? I'd give an honorary big shout out to Destiny, because I think they have amazing gunplay as well. You got to give that credit for sure. Never played Halo, but I'm assuming Bungie lineage that would also carry on as well into the Halo franchise as well. So if you got that, I can say that. But at least for me, I still think Call of Duty definitely is one of like the best feeling gameplay first person shooters that you can have on the market. So definitely feels good, you know, but that's none too crazy to say there. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it. It took me like 5-6 hours to beat, you know what I'm saying? Just a little something. And we got the multiplayer this week as well for the full game launch. And yeah, that was cool. And I hope they keep doing this, release the campaign early if you bought it early. Like I do actually like that as well. Yeah.
So I feel like they're learning now that most people who buy Call of Duty are in it for the multiplayer.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah.
And like, you know, the weirdos like me who bought it for the campaign are few and far between at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like your you know type of player, right? That like doesn't play a lot of multiplayer. Like there's a few bunch of you, right? And like there's a lot more people, obviously, as you know, that like only play multiplayer or like only play Warzone. So giving your campaign that has a lot of effort into it, a lot of work into it, and they have writers and everything, right? Like to be able to let the campaign have a little moment to shine. I bet more people played this campaign than probably any other campaign just because it was simply out ahead of the multiplayer suite where everyone's going to go anyway, you know, and like they don't have an opportunity to overlook it and they have a chance to highlight the campaign by itself, you know. So that was a really good move as well. Also, a shout out to your shirt. I just noticed Mount Celeste. Celeste is one of my favorite games of all time. Shout out to that. I made a taste.
Hell yeah, man.
You don't see it.
Listen, that game brought me to terms with my anxiety and depression, and I had no idea that was even in it. What Indeed. A masterful game.
Indeed. Very good game. Very good game. But moving, and of course, and I beat God of War, which we will talk about later on in a few moments on the topic of the show. But moving in here to news, the leaks are rampant. Now listen, I have a confession to make here on the show. All right.
Uh-oh.
I have a confession.
You're the one leaking things, Kev? Is that what you're about to say?
It's me. It's me.
Oh,
yep,
no.
it's me. Nah. It really pains me to say. I'm not 100% sure because I feel like I have. When I see something in PlayStation, right, like that I'm not supposed to see, I feel like I'm able to like flush my brain and like try and like mix it up and just act like I didn't see anything, you know? And by the time the game comes out, I would have forgotten. I believe, unfortunately, These fucking YouTube fucking
No.
thumbnails, bro. These fucking.
Yeah,
I think I
they're
may
the
have seen
worst.
something that I should not have seen.
Oh no.
And there's
That's a
mainly
bummer.
two. There's one that isn't that bad that I'm like, okay, that character is doing that. That's clearly I should not have known that before this game came out, right? And then another one which I think is definitely a fucking spoiler that I had spoiled for me. Again, not the craziest spoilers. I'm not like that torn up about it, but like, I think I may unfortunately have fallen into the leakers. These fucking savages.
They're the worst. I don't understand the joy these people get out of this. It's ridiculous.
You truly hate to see it, bro. I even went so far as I was gonna wait a little bit longer to mute words on Twitter, but I did it on Monday, and I think I saw some stuff last night. You know what I'm saying? Ugh, man, it's just it's just when you're searching assets for YouTube, you just
I get you.
stumble
Yeah.
across it, you know?
Well, when you're a content creator and you're looking for things like you mentioned thumbnails or like try to find news to talk about,
Hate to see it.
you have to be even extra special or take extra special care of avoiding it. And these people are clever,
They are,
or they're just real dumb and they just put it out there and they don't care.
man.
Which is wild.
That's crazy. I would like to see somehow. I don't know how they would even do this. Like YouTube to add like a spoiler tag, but like I don't know if that's even gonna help. Like, 'cause,
even then, I think the onus is on the person making the video
Exactly.
to enable that.
exactly.
Like Discord does it great. Like you can mark things as a spoiler, it'll
Yep.
black it out for anybody. But again, the person has to mark it as a spoiler.
Indeed.
And these stupid YouTube edgelords don't care. They
Yeah,
really
I can see
do
it.
not care.
Yeah. Truly hate to see it, man. Oh well, but I will say that these two things. Okay, one low key, if it is what I saw, I think it's gonna be pretty big. You know, not like not story related, but more of a mechanical related thing. That if it is what I saw, and hey, maybe it was the framing in the specific shot. I don't know, but
Okay.
it definitely seems a little suspect. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, real talk, I had to talk myself out of a conspiracy hole maybe 40 minutes ago. Where it's like I finished the game. Yeah, I finished the game. I get to the part where last week when we talked about the different mythologies that we could go to.
Yep.
I got to that part. I was like, huh, maybe we are going to the other ones in Ragnarok. And then I was thinking like, I played the game. I beat it. Ragnarok's coming. It's snowing. It's wintertime. Why is there a tropical area? Is that Egypt in Ragnarok? Like the little bit of combat stuff? And then I talked myself out of it. No, that's probably one of the realms we haven't gone to in the first game.
Yeah, we have.
I'm like, okay, slow down, Kyle. Slow down.
Yeah, I actually had to make a list because I kept forgetting like which realms that we went to and everything. I think we haven't been to Vanaheim.
And
Svartalfheim.
Svartalfheim. Yeah.
Definitely Svartalfheim. We haven't been to
And Asgard.
Asgard. Technically, we haven't really explored Jotunheim that much either,
That's fair.
if that
Yeah,
counts.
yeah.
But you know, we've definitely been there, obviously. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, man, watch out, guys. Mute your words. You know what I'm
13
saying?
days. Be vigilant.
13 days. We're so close. God,
Yeah.
so close. Next up, something that came out a few weeks ago that I forgot to mention, but I figured might be a good time to mention here. God of War, Ragnarok PS4 and PS5 file sizes have been released, but these will likely not include the day one patch. I imagine that the day one patch will be a bit substantial. Those typically tend to be bigger day one patches and stuff like that to fit in anything last minute into the game where the game already went gold. Their next opportunity to do that is that day one patch. So in the US territories on PS4, it is clocking in at 106.9 gigabytes. And on PS5, it's a cool 84 gigs, about 20 gig reduction there, thanks to that SSD compression. In the European territories, we have 118 gigabytes for PS4 and around 90 to 100 gigabytes with an exact size not correctly given, but that's just a rough estimate. And just
Here comes my big dumb brain.
What's up?
Why are they different?
I have a
Aren't they
theory.
the same thing?
I think it's because of the voice language packs. I bet there's more.
That is a great point.
That was my thought. I bet because they have whole VO suites for different languages that probably won't ship on the US version. Because
That's totally
just,
fair. Yeah,
that's my.
That's
thought.
the only thing I can think of the difference. But like,
Yeah.
even then, almost 12 gigs of extra stuff
Yeah,
from at least on the PS4 version. That's wild.
could be wrong, but that was just my
Yeah.
thought. You know that like maybe it might be those voice languages.
They
but
better
who
not
knows?
get extra stuff that we don't.
Shit,
Gameplay
man.
wise, how dare they?
Shit, man, look at this.
I'll
man.
have to triple dip. I'll buy it again.
The damn Europeans. Look at them. They already lost the war, man. Come on, man.
Let it go, Europe. You lost.
It was a long time ago. Boston Tea Party, right? Whatever the hell that was, right? That was crazy. Preloading does start next week, November 2nd. I usually don't buy a game super early until the preloads on, so I'll definitely buy it next week, of course, in preparation for the launch, which is November 9th, if you weren't aware. So be wary of those sizes that you need on your console. You know what I'm saying? Make sure to make room for Ragnarok. You know what I'm saying? Now let's get into this, okay? We got some. Now, of course, this is not an official preview. No, we are not playing God of War Ragnarok yet. You know what I'm saying? Yet.
No, we are not the lucky chosen ones.
Indeed. But a few.
One day.
Yes, absolutely. But a few outlets have been playing God of War Ragnarok. I just jotted down some quick notes that I mainly listened to the Kind of Funny preview. That was the only one I went to. That's usually the only one I really listen to. I might check out Push Square, might check out IGN, but usually with games that I really am gonna play at day one, I usually just check out Kind of Funny. But they were very much thought it was good. You know, the
Absolutely.
preview period was, I think, the first 5 hours, and it was up to a certain story point as well that they didn't want to talk beyond that point. But it was around roughly 5 hours of the first 5 hours.
Famously, like same as 2018, where they stopped that preview event as you're walking to Freya's with the boar, and that's when they stopped the preview. The only reason I know that is because after I finished the game, I popped on Kind of Funny spoiler cast with Corey, just to watch it again because I'm fresh off just beating it.
Yeah.
And they talk about that preview event that Greg went to back in 2018, 2017, whatever it was. And he was like, yeah, you stopped us as you were walking with the boar. And then Corey was like, yeah, we wanted to keep the whole lake and open world thing a secret. Like, that's the reason why. So
These motherfuckers.
what's about to happen after the 5 hours? Like, what is that thing that they're like, okay, here's where things are gonna get interesting. It's gonna be a little bit different.
Listen, I had. Okay, so the most recent time I've had that, right, which I think they did an excellent job at keeping on the wraps, which is not necessarily like the same thing as God of War 2018, but like Horizon Forbidden West, right? How hands down, you play Zero Dawn, I promise you.
Don't spoil it for me, Kev.
No,
I didn't
I'm not.
finish it yet. Okay. Listen, man, Elden Ring took over my entire spring. I know it hurts. I feel bad. I feel guilty. I'm sorry, everybody. I what do you want me to say?
Oh man. Oh, wait, but have you? Wait. I mean,
I played about 25 hours of it.
Okay,
or
so you like
whatever.
definitely know.
I just haven't finished. I got to a point where some outside forces show up, and then that are completely wildly different from what Aloy is used to.
Okay.
That is where I remember ending.
Holy
stopping.
shit! You only played up to there?
Yeah, dude. Listen, I know
Oh,
it's
man.
a sin. It will get done. It will. Maybe that is what I do in the next 13 days, so I can finish it before God of War.
But yo, okay,
Yeah.
so that, right? You can play Zero Dawn. Nobody is guessing the direction that Horizon Forbidden West goes in from a story perspective. I don't care. There's no way that you're gonna guess that, you know? So I'm hoping that this is what we have in store for God of War Ragnarok. You know what I'm saying? That like
Absolutely.
we're gonna be doing
Yeah.
something like wildly different.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah,
We'll see.
And
We'll see.
I'm very, very, very excited about, because I also listened in full to that PS I Love You preview, where Greg was like, "Yeah, 45 minutes in or something, it broke me and I cried." and like me and Greg share similar views on that kind of stuff that makes us emotional. I am so excited to see what that is.
I can't
because that is one of the main reasons why I enjoy single player games so much is how invested I get in them, and how emotionally attached I am to these characters. So Greg saying 45 minutes in, it got him. I'm like, oh man, I'm about to cry as much as Last of Us Part 2, am I? Like I'm not. I had a list of every time I cried in that game. It was like up to 29 times. I'm so ready to see what that is. I'm ready to just figure out where the hell we're going and just how big in scope it is.
Yeah, man.
Like it is 13 days.
At least
13 days.
At least the way, but maybe I'm biased. I don't know. If I would ever make a game, I want to talk all about like the first like 3-5 hours, you know, and show footage from the first 3 hours, and then keep the rest of the fucking 18-20 hours like blacked out goddamn secret. Like no.
Yeah.
I want y'all to really see this. You know what I'm saying? Like for yourselves. Yeah. And like that's why like it also kind of hurts that I'm not gonna be able to stream Ragnarok, cause like I love, cause listen, the moment that you are talking about in Horizon, that's up on the channel, and I fucking love when I get to look back and see like my first reaction to it. You know, we'll see, but
no, absolutely.
Previews overall looking good. There were some things that people said as a little bit of a downside, where a lot of people were saying that it felt a little bit similar to God of War 2018. And I really am intrigued to see that for myself specifically. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's a sequel. I'm of the mind that like, hey, like, I would like it to play like God of War 2018, right? But like, I do get if it's feeling a little samey in the beginning, I can understand that. And think of how many things that you get over the course of God of War 2018, where by the end, you have a whole different weapon set. You have a whole different skill tree set. You have 2 different arrow types that Atreus can use. And like the combat like really does change, right? As you go on, right? So go.
I also feel like that fear or that worry, I think, I don't know about you, but for me, watching what we'll talk about in a little bit, that combat trailer from today, like that alleviated some of it of like, it's something Santa Monica does so well. And I was going to talk about this when we talk God of War 2018. They get the little things done so correct, right? Like they think about every small, minute detail, right? So like in Ragnarok, instead of, you know, Atreus relying on Kratos for, you know, maneuvering or combat wise, Atreus is a grown ass man at this point in this game. So like he is traversing those climbable walls by himself in this combat trailer, right? Like he is taking on enemies and whatnot on his own during the fight. Like I'm so excited I hope Atreus' skill tree is expanded a whole lot at Ragnarok, and you get to have him do a couple of really cool things. I'm very excited.
I'm gonna say it in the breakdown, but I'm like, damn, yo, it's kind of a little sad to see my man, you know, go up that thing by himself. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't need me no more, man.
Climb on my back, you know, like
just like old times. Come on, bro.
Times. Yeah,
this shit was lit. You know what I'm saying? Now, look at that, man. You hate to see it, but yeah, previews overall looking good. Very, very fucking excited, and definitely 2 episodes from now will be our first impressions. Let's go, man. Let's go. Yes.
One last thing about the previews that I'm very excited about, more than the story and combat, whatever, is they listened about the enemy variety.
Yes.
It's something I felt in 2018 replaying it. A lot of the same enemies, reskinned. How many times do I have to fight a troll?
Bro, like the trolls.
It's
yes, absolutely.
Ridiculous. They learned that, and again in the trailer and the previews, they're like, yeah, no, each realm has their own set of enemies that live specifically in that realm. And they're different and unique. And the mini bosses, there's more of them. Like, that has me super excited.
And guys, that's the benefit of a sequel that is off the back of the first entry of a game, so that they can iterate. And, you know,
Exactly.
I thought we knew that, guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying,
Exactly.
hey, if it's the exact same, that's obviously going to be a little bit of a problem. But like, they've shown that hey, we listen to this specific critique, right? I hope they listen to another one as well in terms of like the menu system and all that, because like I didn't love the menu system. I just feel like it was a little bit.
Also,
bit much,
really quickly,
that?
I mentioned I hopped into the Kind of Funny spoiler cast for 2018 before hopping on here. Corey initially in that spoiler cast talked about how he got shot down about having everything done in game. Kratos upgrading runes in game, not backing out to a menu. And he specifically said this in the spoiler cast. He was like, you know what? Maybe we'll do that in the second one.
Let's hope.
So
Let's hope.
that would be wild to never, ever, ever back out to a screen.
So it's really no cut.
And like,
it's really no cut.
like, yeah, like actually watching Kratos put the runes into his weapons and whatnot.
Oh,
that would be wild. As long as we can still go to Brock and Sindri, you know? Or whoever else is in the shops.
If they can take it, dude, if it's dead ass no cut, it's like
if it's like Last of Us level of upgrading weapons where you are at the workbench, and like Joel taking apart the stuff, that'd be great.
Oh, you see Kratos fucking. Oh, I mean, you see probably Rockets in. I mean, we saw that in game, but
like sharpening the edge and like you know.
I'm with that. Okay, we'll see. Next up here, this news story just brought a nice big old smile to me. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. God of War Ragnarok graphics modes. Let me just run it down. Okay. Of course, we got the favor resolution 4K locked at 30. You know what I'm saying? For those that want that, you can have that, of course. You know what I'm saying? However, the real ones, we got the favor performance. Yes, sir. We need that locked 6. They said, hey, because listen, when they say, up to 60 frames, right? You're gonna get some dips. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get some dips, right? But no, this is locked. I'm shocked that they're saying locked, right? Now, this could be Push Square's verbiage, right? Because this was straight from their article, but, so maybe there might be a dip or two, whatever, right? But, like, typically 60 frames usually does pretty well on PlayStation first-party games, so definitely excited for that. You know what I'm saying? We got the favor resolution high frame rate, which is going to be that 4K 40 FPS that we saw famously with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. We've got it in other games like Horizon Forbidden West supports it. I think Miles Morales does as well. A few other games too. But 4K 40 FPS, if you have a VRR supported television set, you need HDMI 2.1 and all that. If you can do that, you can definitely have that. And then there's favor performance high frame rate mode, which will target 120 frames per second. You do need HDMI 2.1 and variable refresh rate to do that as well. I assume that one will probably run at, somewhere a little bit lower than, 1440p, whatever you gotta do, right? But Digital Foundry, they have the game. They responded to a tweet. I didn't actually link the tweet itself. That's definitely my bad. But they were saying, because like some person was asking, is the performance mode like around like 1080p? And they said no, it's much higher than 1080p, right? So we could be looking at like 1440p, 1800p, whatever, like a much higher resolution than 1080p, which is definitely what I like to see. You know what I'm saying? So, what will you be playing on?
So I will be playing on the 4K locked at 40.
I feel you. Oh, 4K 40.
Yeah.
Okay. You got one
like
of them
so.
ones. Okay, I see. I like that.
So here's the thing, Kev. I appreciate a good 60 frames.
Yes.
Before the PS5, I could care less. I couldn't tell a difference, honestly. Spider-Man opened my eyes, Miles, where you can switch back and forth and see like, oh yeah, no, this is way smoother. This is fluid. I like this a whole lot. But to me, and on the back of the whole Gotham Knights thing, if you start a game and it's one thing, I don't see a difference. If the moment I press play, it's at 30, it's it's 40, whatever, and that's it, I'll be fine. The only way I see it is if I can switch back and forth.
I see. I see.
So like to me, like I've been playing games at 30 and below my entire life. So like I'm used to it. It won't take away from the story, anything of that. So like I don't mind it. And plus, like I have an OLED TV. I want to see the 4K HDR goodness.
Right.
So I'd much rather that than just have kind of like a fluid thing. Don't get me wrong. I will play a little bit of it at 60 just so I can get, that fluid goodness. But
yeah,
it doesn't bother me as much as I think, a lot of people are bothered by it.
Yeah, I definitely think that there's something wrong. like because I can't. I actively cannot.
Sure.
I can't anymore. And it's been recent. Like, I'm not saying I've always been like this, right? Like, back on PS4, yes, we all played Uncharted 4 at 30 frames. Yes, we all played Last of Us Part 2 even most recently in 30 frames. That definitely happens, right? But it's with the PS5 where we had a lot more 60 frames, like a lot more 60 frames.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like it's becoming, or if not already is, 60 frames is the standard. It's becoming maybe not like the now. I think that it's not the only now. I think 30 frames is not the only standard, right? It's becoming
1000%.
more prevalent to have two modes, 60 and 30. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want,
I do think this is the downside of having games on PS4, Xbox One, and not only have it on PS5 and Series X. Right? Like, I think here is where you see what am I looking for? The negative of having it on both.
The downside. Yeah.
The downside. Thank you. Yeah. So I think that's where it's being held back a little bit. Because like if from the get-go, if again, Gotham Knights is just in everyone's, when it comes to this conversation in the forefront of everyone's brain. If it was only a next gen thing from the start, I feel like frame rate would have been 60 frames.
Yeah.
Or have that option, right? Like, but the fact that it was a PS4, Xbox One kind of thing, and then they realized, maybe a year and a half ago, to scrap that and just work on the next gen.
Was it this year? Was it like?
Or maybe even. Yeah, so like
I could be wrong, but like I thought it was this year, but
it was recent,
yeah,
for sure. I think that's the only reason why that stuff happens. So like, I feel like maybe in a year or two, everything will be at 60 or have options that are the same level as this lineup here for Ragnarok.
Yeah,
third party, first party, doesn't matter. We just gotta wait a little bit.
I would love some sort of like college study, like multi-year study, like listen, like is there a sect of the population, like I don't know, because there's many people like you that like just don't care, they just don't see, not that you don't care, but like you're fine playing at 30 like from the jump, like it's not a big deal. Like me, like I can't now, like I like it looks, I can't focus on the game, but like it looks too. Yeah, and like I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but like I just straight up can't. Like like I don't know how to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm really not. Like that's just how it is. Yeah. So like I wonder if it's some like, hey, like some people are colorblind, some people are more sensitive to frame rates. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know something. I don't know. But yeah. But it looks like here, of course, we'll be served in all facets wherever you want to play at. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I do want to, because last thing I'll say about this is I am kind of saving up for that M9 Sony monitor.
Oh, okay.
Because I really want to see how 40 FPS is. I really want to see how that actually is, right? Like, and on top of that, 120 as well.
Sure.
I do want to experience that.
Like,
yeah.
Kev,
what's up?
120.
Listen.
Why? Is that just overboard at this point?
I can't say, right? I do know that my brother, right, will see 60 and not be as drastic as how like we are with 30, because 30 to 60 is a much bigger difference than 60 to 120. Let's keep real. And
absolutely,
as you get more and more frames, you see it less and less. That's absolutely a fact, right? But he's like, man, like it's not. not
It's not
240. It's not 120. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
But like, it's not like as bad as like 30. Like, you know. So,
Yeah.
I was curious to see like if I'd even see a difference with that. You know what I'm saying? And like, I bet that 120 would be very nice for like multiplayer games and like reaction times and such and everything. Maybe the single player game, you probably don't need 120 frames. You know, that's probably, you know, can be construed as overkill. But I don't want to say that. I've literally never seen 120 frames yet. You know,
Yeah.
in like a full capacity of me playing a game. You know, but yeah.
Yeah. So I just had this real quick thought of like, how many frames can the human eye actually see per second?
That's a good question.
And according to Google, the human eye sees 30 to 60 frames per second. So like,
I mean, I mean, there is that, but like, my brother can tell a difference, and like I've heard like a lot of people be like, no, like there is a difference between. Is it a wide degree? That could be up for debate.
Fair.
Lean is probably a no. You know, like if we're talking about 30 to 60, once again, much bigger difference than 60 to 120, 120 to 240, etc. It gets lower and lower. But I mean, I don't know. Like some people buy these, you know, 240 hertz monitors and get 240 straight up on their PCs, and like, you know, that's just how they play. You know, and like so I don't know. Like, hey, could it be a thing of placebo? I don't know.
I generally do not know, but I also think of like, how far can technology go in our lifetime where like it's just little tiny things at this point?
Right.
But like I look at like Ragnarok, I look at like Last of Us remake, I look at Horizon.
It looks fucking good, man. like it looks real good.
Graphics, I think, are a thing of of the past, right? Like we're touting like, oh, the best graphics possible. Everything looks phenomenal. Like, what is that thing of like what PlayStation 6 or whatever? Like, is it frames? Is it more tech stuff, like the nerdy tech stuff? Like, I don't know. We're just extremely lucky to be living in this timeline.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but like, I think back to like 2013, right? I think it was 2013 when like Battlefield 4 came out, right? And I thought that was like, yo, this is the fucking pinnacle of game. Like, what the fuck, right? And like, we're saying
look
now,
how big the map is.
Yeah, and now you look at Battlefield 4, and it's like, yeah, like that looks like a 2013 game. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? So
I have that reaction to Assassin's Creed Black Flag. At the time, I was like, oh man, this game is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Went back to maybe 2.5 years ago. I'm like, oh boy, does not age well.
Yeah,
but
so
at
like
the time, it was amazing.
Right, and like definitely, like I feel like it will be just like if you go up more in frames, right? That like, you know, eventually it won't be as apparent, and we're already seeing that with like PS4 games and PS5 games like look somewhat identical. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't look like night and day, right? But like we'll see. Who knows? You know, maybe it might look crazy on the PlayStation 7. You know, we'll see. PlayStation 6. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh boy.
Road to PS6. Yes, sir. Yes, I'll be fucking.
Let's start it now.
I'll be like 30. That's fucking crazy. Damn.
Yeah, I'll be in a nursing home by that time.
Oh, Kyle, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
I'm old.
And lastly here, didn't have any notes to it because I'm still building up my breakdown for this, but in case you missed it, combat and enemy trailer, highly recommend it. A lot of brand new gameplay that we have not seen before in this. This is one of my favorite things that we have gotten from the God of War rollout for sure. Like I really did enjoy seeing this for sure. So
yeah. And also in here, confirmation that we're fighting against the Light Elves.
Yes, that was also I did note that. I'm like, okay.
Ooh,
I did note
what
that.
happened?
I'm like, okay, let's see this. Yeah,
but also like in that same thing, like you were also fighting Dark Elves too. Like it was the enemies from 2018 a little bit, where the ones that shoot the stupid dark light things that I hate so much.
Yeah, that's
like you're fighting both of them. So what's going on over there in Alfheim?
That was pretty bad.
Are they gonna make me love that realm? Because we talked last week, not my favorite place.
Oh man, yeah, that is a very intriguing thought. You know, because they are in the middle of a war conflict. You know. Yeah, that's definitely for speculation for sure.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
Intrigued. Very intrigued. But going into it here, God of War, 2018. Bit of a review discussion, a little check-in, right? Like where are we at in the story? I I want you to give a little bit of an intro preamble. I'm gonna let my dogs out of their
Sure.
like laundry room hold-in thing because
Divider?
they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like no, they have like a baby gate for the dogs,
Yeah.
right?
I got that.
But they
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
realize that whenever the dogs hear me talk, they just want to be in here, you know.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
I'm gonna let you do a little opening preamble. I'm gonna
Okay.
do that really quick. I'll be right back.
Sure. Yeah. So, friends, I talked about it in the beginning episodes. Like God of War has just been a thing I enjoyed playing. Story didn't really hit me as well as hard, or wasn't as impactful. 2018 from the get-go, first time around, always knew that it was going to be special, and seeing that E3 trailer, whatever it was, 2016 E3 trailer, pretty damn special. And the same feeling I got when I saw that trailer, the same feeling I got when I played it in 2018, is the same exact feeling I got playing it in 2022, 4 years later. The game is so damn fun. And like I mentioned earlier, Santa Monica does the big things right, but they don't forget the little things. And like we'll get into it when we talk more story stuff. But I very distinctly remember a good portion of it. But there was a section at the end that I didn't remember, and I have a couple things written down of like, man, they just, from like the environmental storytelling to the facial animations, everything about it, like they are masters at what they do, and this might be one of the best games ever made. I thought that then, I think it now. It's what a game. Corey and the Santa Monica team, they killed it.
I'm gonna have to agree. I'm like,
Yeah, let's end the podcast.
Yeah, you know what, guys, that's it. That was it. Nah, but honestly, like, with 2018, like I think once again, like, this is one of the first times like I took my time a little bit more with this game, right? Not that I like disregarded the side missions. Like, I've done a lot of the side stuff in God of War, not all of it, right? I don't have the platinum in it, but mainly just been like a story, and then like I'm good, But this is the first time like I kind of, and you can see my dog like freaking out in the back. What is he doing?
He's just happy.
They're both rolling around. They're
Yeah.
both tripping. But no, like this is like the first time like I took a little bit more of my time with it and explored a little bit, and like, no, there's so much in this game, so much.
Yeah.
Like even so much as like I thought like a comic critique was that third act, right? And honestly, I don't know if that's really there, guys. Like they go like it go look.
It's a brisk pace.
Yeah, that's what, like towards the end, like yeah, like there's a lot there, but like I think the one is
go from Atreus becoming sick.
Yep.
To him being a dick, which you had problems with. I don't know how you feel at this replay. To going to hell, to then coming back and then defeating Magni and Modi, and all of that I feel happens in like an hour and a half or 2 hours.
It's very
It's a lot longer, but it goes quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, especially
going into the World Serpent, like
that was really quick.
It comes. Whew.
Yeah, they just do a lot that like, and I wonder if like that was the original intent. You know what I'm saying? But like, as I wouldn't even call it a bad thing. Like, I think what it is like one of like the big ones that people say like marks the like where it takes too long to end is probably when
it drags.
Yeah, the part where a lot of people say it drags is I think you do when you go to the secret tower in between the realms, right? And you do that combat thing, right? They think that is a lull period, and then right after that, do you flip? Oh, you see him.
You flip the tower. You flip the realm thing.
You flip that before you go to the secret Jotunheim thing and do the combat thing. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think you flip.
I think you're doing that to access that. Yeah.
You are. Yeah, yeah. So I think people, when they have to flip the realms, I think that's when people are like, oh, okay, like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I think people add on to it when you have to get the other eye for Mimir. But, like, both of those things, like, it's not a lot of time.
It's not.
Really
and,
not.
like, in-game lore-wise, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Odin's trying to prevent anyone from going to Jotunheim. So, like, it...
Yeah.
Or, like, keeping a secret. So, like, of course he would destroy the crystal. Of course it's not just going to be, like, a thing you could just go find. It's going to be as hard as possible. Like, I'm okay with those kind of things because I can see the reason behind it.
Yeah, yeah. So I was able to beat the game on hard, right? I think you were playing on hard as well, right?
I was, but I have a confession. I had to bump it down.
I feel you. Was it
one? No, go.
Wait, I kind of want to guess.
You guess. You guess.
I think it's either the listen, because the fucking dark elves in that secret Jotunheim tower as it's going through all the different realms.
Ding,
Jesus
ding, ding.
fuck.
That is exactly when I had to lower it.
Christ,
it was like 2.5 hours
God.
when I got back Sunday night. And I'm like, I can't do this. One, I didn't have any resurrection stone.
Yeah.
So like I already used that and I forgot to get another one. So when you have, there's like 3 at once and then some nightmares flying around and
bro. No, that's tough
constantly spamming like the darkness grenades, whatever they are. I was like, I got to. I made it this far. I lowered it for that. I did go back up after that.
Absolutely.
But like I couldn't. I could not continue. No, that is insane.
That's a tough one. No, that's definitely a tough one.
Yeah.
And low-key Baldur kind of whipped my ass in that final one, low-key. I still got through both those elves. The elves took longer. I think maybe that was like 45 minutes with the elves where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to just figure it out. And then like I was able to get through that, but definitely the Baldur fight a little bit tough. Honestly, it was more tougher in the first few stages as opposed to the last ones and I love the Baldur fight. I love it so much more now. Good. We're like,
so much more.
It's that last section on the Baldur fight when you're full god, you're like rage mode and everything, and you're just fucking wailing, bro. It feels so good, bro.
I specifically wrote down
so good. Such good boss.
The part that I completely forgot about that end scene. For some reason, I thought that final fight with Baldur was very similar to the first fight as the stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like a redone.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot about the whole thing of Freya taking control of that giant and stopping you and the set pieces and whatnot. My favorite moment of that fight, Kev, is when I think it is after Kratos goes into rage mode.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the thing where Kratos gives a punch and then you press square and Atreus comes in.
Yeah.
And it's like a tag team just beating Baldur's ass. And like, that was so damn cool. Like quick time events, I understand people don't like it. You can't do that organically. You can't have those moments organically. So like, that stuff is awesome.
So you just did that like last night, right? I think
I did that tonight after work. Like
okay, so just now, right? Did you pick up on the fact that like the very last when you're doing that back and forth with like Kratos punch, Atreus with a bow, right?
Atreus.
Do you realize that like during that QTE section, you're only pressing R2? Well, at least from my control scheme, it's R2.
Yeah, square.
For the bow.
You're only doing the Atreus attacks. I did notice that.
Yeah, I was like, wait. I was like, yo. Yeah, I was like,
yeah. I didn't notice that the first time at all. Yeah, you were only doing Atreus's attacks on Baldur in that moment.
So just like in Norse myth, of course, Loki, Atreus is the one to, kill Baldur. Yeah, I was like, that's it's like Marla,
it's
you
great,
slick. You fucking slick, Marla.
The little things that Corey and that team did.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
I was like, that's good. That's good. I like that. I like that's good.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I mean, I wish I didn't talk about God of War. I need to do a mental note. Next row 2, don't talk about the game until it's the review section of
Sure.
the review episode, because I feel like I've said a lot about my piece, but like I have a newfound appreciation for this game's combat. You know, I just look at it a little more deeper. Definitely for Ragnarok, I'm gonna start on that hard mode, and we're gonna see how it goes, because I feel like it's gonna be an easy game. You know, I feel like PlayStation has definitely skewed towards like, hey, like let's have the platinum be not that crazy, so more people can get it, more people can be engaged with the game itself, which I understand that, you know what I'm saying? But I think overall, like, I don't think the game is going to be really that challenging, even on normal. That's what I'm expecting. So like, I think I am gonna
bookmark, clip that out. When we talk about Ragnarok, I want you to come with the receipts.
Why don't you be like, fam, I was wrong, but not like,
exactly.
Honestly though, like, I think I am gonna start on hard for sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I feel like I prepped, and I might be doing a little bit more prep, you know, as we get closer
to
to
those Valkyries.
Yeah, listen, I did 3 Valkyrie fights.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. Listen, I'm not capping. I'm not lying. All right. Granted, there's I think 8 or 9. I think 9 if you count the last one.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that. Yeah. Oh man, Kev is not ready for that last Valkyrie fight. I don't know if he knows who the last Valkyrie is. I'm gonna ask him when he comes back on.
They're just so small but so loud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
A lot of bark, but what was I saying? Yeah. Honestly, man, I don't know if man, I'm not trying to be boastful, right? But I think this hard mode, I honestly did not think the Valkyries were that bad. You know, I thought they were gonna be way worse, but like, I think I've spent
some of them aren't bad. I'll be honest.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm assuming.
Some of the later
right?
ones, though.
I hear. Okay, that's what.
That last one, though.
I hear the last. Okay, so it was the last one.
Do you
that's
know
like,
who the last one is, by the way?
Can I say it? Is that okay?
I mean, this is the spoiler.
I think I know it. Yeah, I think it's Freya, right?
You are correct.
That's fucking lit.
Yeah, she's the leader of the Valkyries, and you take her on.
You know, I beat my last Valkyrie Queen, I think like on Saturday night, and I was like, okay, Kev, like, are you gonna do all of them? You know, let's just, wait till Ragnarok. But I'm like, you know what? Actually, fuck that. I'm gonna go and do all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually really want to. I know I need to also upgrade my blades to level 5, which I don't know how I'm gonna get. I think I need the flame, you
gotta go to Muspelheim or whatever.
Oh, is that what I need to do?
I think there's a Valkyrie at the top of that one that you beat, and I think gives you like a really big resource. I didn't touch the Valkyries this playthrough because I already did that. I wasn't gonna go through it again. But if I remember correctly, that kind of challenge tower thing in that realm, where at the very top is a Valkyrie battle, I think you get like some crazy good resources there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
now,
you should.
Yeah, like,
it's great.
Yeah.
It's similar to like hard mode in FF7 remake. Like it is very rewarding because those fights are some of the coolest ones.
Dude, FF7 hard mode was fucking. That's a great one. Yeah, and like I'm feeling a similar type of satisfaction with God of War for sure. Like definitely. So like overall, hey, maybe I stumbled across some easy Valkyries. That's fair, but like, and also, hey, I'm not on Gimme God of War, which I've heard. Gimme God of War is like a whole nother realm of like fucking difficult. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. But hey, on hard, I didn't feel that bad about it. Like I think at the max I spent maybe like 22 minutes with one. To me, like 22 minutes to beat. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
so far so good.
Yeah.
But
something I really enjoyed with this replay is, and I appreciated back then, but when you really look at it,
okay,
there's how many characters in this game?
Yeah, it's a very tight knit. You're right, Freya,
and you care about all of them.
Kratos, Atreus,
like all of them have an arc, and all of them have a payoff. You feel some sort of attachment to them. Like you have the Brock and Sindri arc, you've got the Baldur and Freya, you got the Freya and Kratos and Atreus, obviously. Who else? Oh, Mimir, right?
Yeah, of
and
course,
the World
of course,
Serpent,
Mimir, yeah.
they all are so interconnected, and they also work well together. And again, I keep referencing that spoiler cast I watched, but like Corey made us feel about the shop. Like it wasn't we just went to the shop and bought things. Like we cared about Brock and Sindri and getting them back together and what they had to say and those little moments and whatnot. And like he did the thing where he answered the question of how the hell are they getting to places before us. Like he took the time and put that in the game. Again, the little things. Like that stuff is wild, and like replaying the parts that I didn't think of or remember so much. There's a scene again where Atreus is sick, right? And you have to bring him back to Freya. That whole thing where you're carrying him, and then on the elevator, this broke me, Kev. Didn't appreciate it in 2018. This broke me. Instead of the stoic, calm Kratos.
Oh yeah.
On that elevator ride back, he is pacing. He's like, will this elevator go any faster? He's not saying that with his words. He's holding Atreus, and instead of standing in one place, he is pacing. And that's not you with the controller. That is a scripted thing of him going back and forth on the elevator of like, come on. Which shows that he really freaking cares about being this kid's dad. And whether he is this tough, exterior person, but he cares about being a better dad and trying to do it right this time. And like he is the one thing he has left to make amends for everything, and he wants to make sure Atreus is fine. And that pacing on that elevator was like, oh man, again, the little things, like it's
that, and like
wild.
it's moments like, I mean, for me, that scene definitely elevated a lot on this playthrough, right? And for me, it was the way Kratos speaks to Freya. It's like, please help me, like please,
exactly,
like he's fucking begging, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like he knows he definitely was very angry to find that Freya was a god, right? Like, and that was the last time they had spoken, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it was like, we're never gonna come back here again, right? But to like see Kratos like literally on his knees, right? I mean, like, please help me, like, like father to mother type dynamic, like help me.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was that, and then also like it rang so much louder now when Kratos was, and this is probably low-key like one of my favorite bars in the whole entire game, when like Kratos is like, your power comes from here, your heart, right? But it's tempered and controlled by your mind. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like we like have to be better than this. And he says you have to be better than me. Mm-hmm. Like fuck, like that shit hits a little different. It does.
1000%.
And like and I'm working on this iceberg, and I'm like having like a lot of reflection on Kratos' history, right? Like doing this whole iceberg project, and it's much more of like like I see Kratos in the way he spoke to Atreus in God of War 2018, a bit more of a like, yes, like father and son thing, absolutely, like son, right? But from a deeper dynamic of like, this is your flesh and blood, right? Like this is your lineage, right? This is your heritage. And like ultimately what I kept thinking about was that like Atreus is Kratos' legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Kratos killed his mom, killed his dad, killed his ex-wife, killed his not ex, but like, former wife, former kid, the entire Greek pantheon. he fucking kills the last Spartan.
Yep.
Like Kratos is Atreus is the only thing that will live beyond Kratos, right?
Yeah.
Like really, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like that's like a part of him, and it's like that's what I got thinking about a lot, like in those moments when Kratos is, and he tells them like multiple times in the game, like we will not, and I do have a video about like that line about like we will not continue this cycle, like this is where the cycle ends. He says it to Atreus, says it to Baldur. In the previous games, Zeus said that to Kratos. and like actively tried to not have the cycle repeat, you know. And now I'm wondering, like, is Santa Monica trying to tell us that like this is a perpetual cycle, that like in a similar vein of Ragnarok, right? Like it's not, you can't stop it, you know.
Yeah.
But can you change the framing of it? You know, is it and like I'm basically like saying the script that I'm writing for this video, but like, will it be like the cycle continues, but not in the way that it has before, and not for the same reasons? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm thinking too a lot. You know, going into Ragnarok, but
yeah.
I kind of rambled, but yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's going back to what you were saying about how like this is his chance, you know, to be a better human and a better parent. As I was playing it today and yesterday, I was like, this is wildly parallel to Joel and Ellie in Last of Us. Like, Atreus is Kratos' second chance. Ellie is Joel's second chance of being that father figure and being that good person. And I just thought that was why, like, two of my favorite games ever have that same kind of parallel kind of relationship in the game.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah.
A couple other things that I wrote down of that maybe I just missed, it didn't take for granted the first time, was I forgot when it was. I think it was after Atreus becomes, or after we fix Atreus, when he becomes that punk, where he's like, I'm a god, I can do whatever, and he yells at Sindri, which still breaks my heart. Of like, there's a better way for you to be like, hey, go talk to your brother, and not be like, you know, so looking down on Sindri. How dare you, Atreus?
Yeah. And when he yells at Mimir, and Mimir's like, bro, like, are you gonna let this slide? Like,
exactly.
Mimir's like, yo, what the fuck?
What are you? What?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to? I forgot where it was exactly, but at some point, Atreus goes, oh, when I think it's in Tyr's temple or Tyr's storeroom, where Atreus is and Kratos is like, boy, read this. And Atreus goes, no, you've taught me so much already. Let me teach you. And the tables flip. And Atreus is trying to teach Kratos how to read the languages that he knows so well.
That's beautiful.
Like, oh, what a special moment.
Do you think in this 3-year film, once they period, like Kratos is just gonna know? That's gonna be a thing, right? Like Kratos is just gonna know how to read these runes by this point. Right?
I hope so.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Continue the teachings and whatnot. Yeah. Although, like, you had to go back home, right, Kev? Did you go back home after you beat it?
Of course, absolutely. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely, of course.
Did they actually sleep for years?
Yeah,
I didn't know it said years later. I don't remember that at all.
I mean, I think Corey does confirm that, like, hey, like that like was a dream, and like,
oh, it's a dream. Got it.
Atreus says that like it was his dream that he had, you know, that it's a permanent. He felt like it was a future thing. Yeah. So like definitely like it's not like we had like an actual time jump. Like that was definitely Atreus dreaming, but
okay.
Oh man, fuck! I just kind of just thought of something. Because in my I'm gonna lay it out here, but I really hope I take this in and remember it later when I'm writing notes. But I had a theory during the shaping the trailer scenes that were brand new. There's a part where Kratos comes back, right, and like Atreus mouths, "Are you okay?" Right, and Kratos does not have his blades during that point, and the only prominent gameplay scene that we've seen where Kratos doesn't have his blades is when he's fighting Thor, which we can all presume is happening early on in the game, right? So if it's early on in the game, Kratos goes to fight Thor. I theorized that the reason why Atreus asks if he's okay is because I think that the same time where we see Odin pull up to their house and Atreus opens the door, that's why he would say like, "Are you okay?" This like, I think they're separated. I think Kratos goes to fight Thor in the very similar way that he goes to fight Baldur, and
Yeah.
Atreus is unaccounted for in this house, right?
Fair. Could the opening of Ragnarok be the end of the premonition of what
You see what I'm
God of War
saying?
2018 was? Of like it ends with all you see is Mjolnir, and with Kratos and Atreus in the back.
Okay.
Will Ragnarok start with that fight that we saw in the trailer of Thor and Mjolnir and the axe
Right.
hitting, and then then Odin pops up and talks to Atreus at some point, and then they wake up, and then they go off and try to do the thing? I have a good feeling that's probably how it's gonna start.
I mean, hear me out, right? Hear me out for a second. Hold up. So like, Mimir says in God of War 2018 that like Odin is always trying to seek as much knowledge as possible about the future because he is of the mantra that like knowledge is power, and he wants to know as much as he can. And
Yeah.
he says straight up, like, if Odin could know everything and control everything, that's what he wants to do, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't want any surprises, right? So does Odin somehow know that Atreus has these premonitions and can see into the future and wants Atreus for that reason? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
hey,
mean,
if I can catch
is
this
it-
motherfucker and like he can tell me
Yeah.
the future and like he's having these dreams, right? But then it's like, how does Odin know that?
Well, I feel like that's
No.
how. Doesn't he want to get to Jotunheim for that reason? Doesn't
Odin
he?
wants to get to Jotunheim. Yes, because he
Doesn't
is
he-
seeking
so, like-
information. Yeah,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like if
because the
What
giants
if
could
with-
tell the future. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
So
Yeah.
what if by us opening up that gate to Jotunheim leaves it for Odin to go there and now see those murals and now understand what Atreus's nature is and kind of use that to his own advantage? Or
Wouldn't wouldn't they need Mimir to do that?
oh, you are totally right. You're totally right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we-
they could
we
also
talked about it
use
earlier.
Tyr. Holy
Yeah.
shit! Wait, Tyr's in prison. Is Tyr
Yeah.
imprisoned by Odin?
I
So, oh man,
that's also
there's
that's
something
also
here that
part of the
connects.
reason I was
There's something connects.
that's also another reason I was like, oh, maybe the realm we're seeing in those gameplay is Egypt, and that's where Tyr is in the Egypt
That would be
part of
fucking lit.
mythology, and that's where they go and take him out. But I don't know.
Fuck, man,
So
we're
many
so
unanswered questions.
I can't wait.
Really quickly, another really small thing that I really loved at the end,
No,
where
of course.
you're climbing the stairs to spread face ashes, and Brock and Sindri are like, no, we had to be here to see this because of like, they made the axe for Faye,
Yeah.
and I get just a nice little simple touch that
Nah, it's so beautiful, yeah.
I started crying. I was like, man, that's awesome. That's great.
You know,
Not forgetting these characters, like making sure that they have all their payoffs and respect what they've gone through in game. Like,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, and Boulder feeling snow for the first time right before he dies.
So fucking,
Ooh, what a moment! What
so
a moment!
fucking good, bro. So
Oh,
good, man. So good.
His last words
man.
are snow. Oh,
snow,
God.
like the
Amazing.
bringing of right. So fucking good.
So
But
good.
I always tear up during my favorite cutscene of God of War, which still is. I think I've said it on this podcast already, but it's when Kratos lifts his arms, lets his bandages go, and says, "I have nothing left to hide."
Yeah.
I wish that scene hangs on a little bit longer because Atreus buds in, but it's like
Here's what I wish for, because that's awesome. I wish then the bracers that you get, like the upgraded bracers, they're not there anymore. Right, like because like after that cutscene, then you go and you wear the armor again, and you
Yeah.
don't see the imprints of the chains. I
Right.
wish that they're just gone, and like it's just Kratos bare armed, so you can see the chains there against his skin, kind of thing.
oh,
Like,
kind of like old school. Oh,
yeah, like
okay.
not
I see
having the
that.
armor there to then cover it up again, because it's such a big moment.
Yeah,
But-
right. I feel I
That would have been cool.
but I don't know why this really got me very, very. I like choked up, like for real. I mean like a audible like getting choked up and like really like having a bit of a tear fest, you know. When Kratos and like I'm getting chills now. I don't know why. I don't know why this hits me so hard, but like when Kratos is describing like why he named Atreus, you know.
Oh my
and like
god.
I don't know why that chokes me up now, but like
oh no, it's
just
awesome.
it's just really sweet.
Again, we know Kratos from the other games. He didn't have that in him. And the fact that he named Atreus after somebody that he respected from that time and ties in those two mythologies and ties that character together and that world and this world. It's a beautiful, beautiful moment. Yeah, I love that.
That one really like
the one Spartan soldier that he respected. Yeah.
And he like always in the darkest of times like had a smile and like even and he like describes like, even like when Atreus was gone, like we like gave him a proper burial and like we gave him like all the highest honors that you possibly can, right? But they still use his memory and use his name as a beacon of hope. Like, I was like, that is
beautiful,
so fucking beautiful, bro. Like,
beautiful.
I love that dialogue. Like, I really love that dialogue. Just like and the way it's said and like it's fucking. I love that part. Like, that's fucking beautiful. It's so beautiful, man. Also some cool stuff too. Doing the iceberg. On the wall, right, when Atreus reads his giant name, Loki, right?
Yep.
I can probably pull up my notes, but it's not really that relevant to know like the actual name, but Kratos has a different name as well that the giants called him.
Oh.
Right? And you know what? I'll just say it for fun. You know, this is a part of the iceberg. I'm gonna spoil just a little part of the iceberg and the whole last thing that I'm working on, but Kratos' name on the wall is the exact same name that Loki's dad has as well in Norse myth. However, there's like a bit of like as far as I understand it, I think it's a bit of like an Old Testament, New Testament type thing where like there's really old Norse myth and then there's like modern Norse myth that is more accepted just because there's more there to like digest. But like it's an old Norse myth where Loki's dad has his name and his name translates to like it's something like hard strike or like divine strike, you know, something like that, right? Like some like strike, right? And then Loki's mother, right, means earth, like leaves, right? And then also in Old Norse, Loki translated to like wildfire, right? So the thing is that Loki was brought about from the strike against the dry earth, wildfire. Like,
that's awesome.
And that all lines up, and it's like, oh, that's fucking
really
cool. You know,
that's really cool.
It's fucking cool. It's cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff. Good stuff.
What is your take on the mural that Kratos doesn't let Atreus see?
We gotta
Atreus holding Kratos. Is Atreus killing Kratos?
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean,
or is that like him finding Kratos dead in battle or something? Like Atreus didn't do it, and that's just him grieving in that moment.
Yeah, it's gonna be
very intrigued.
It's so dope because like at the maximum, we'll know our answer within a month from now. You know. If that,
for sure.
3 weeks maybe, like, you know, like very quickly. But
what if after the 5-hour preview is when we get that scene and we play as Atreus the rest of the game?
Oh man, do you think they would kill?
No,
the same way.
I don't. There are scenes with the two facing off against those Valkyries and like that space thing.
Yeah,
I doubt that in the first 5 hours. So like I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like, I think that kind of plays into like what I think they could be leaning into in that, like, in the same way that like Ragnarok is probably gonna happen, right? Like, it's just like inevitable. You know what I'm saying?
It's inevitable. Yeah.
Yeah. But like we hear Kratos say things like in the trailer, like, you know what I'm saying, like fate only binds you if you let it, you know, and like stuff like that, like, you know, and like There's even a part in God War 2018 where Mimir's talking about Odin and like Kratos is like, hey, actually, I kind of agree with Odin on there, where it's like just because it's written, like it does not mean that it is, you know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So there is that as well, that like maybe that could change, right? But I mean, if that mural is depicting Kratos' death, right? I think that kind of goes into if they are going to, in the same vein as Ragnarok, be such a thing that like will happen, right? If the cycle will continue, right? If the son killing the father like is something that is a cycle that will continue, I gotta assume it's more of a sacrificial type of thing as opposed to it being more of like a kill.
Anger.
So,
Yeah.
right. Like I don't think Kratos will be murdered. I think he could be sacrificed, you know,
Sure.
for something. And I think a heavy line that could possibly elude it is when Kratos and Mimir are explaining to Atreus why Freya was so mad at them, you know, and it's like
Yeah.
Atreus, like you don't have this frame of reference yet, and that's fine because like you're a child, right? But like
Yeah.
a parent would do anything for their kid, and like Atreus asks Kratos like, hey, would you let yourself die like for me? And then Kratos like, hey, like if it means you'll live, then yes. So it's like there could be that too, you know. So we'll see.
That
We'll
was
see.
also the thing that got me thinking of
Yeah.
Joel and Ellie. The
Right,
same kind of thought process there. Low key, another one of my favorite things playing this. I don't know how you feel.
What's up?
Just swimming around or rowing the boat in the water and listening to Mimir.
It's the fucking best, man.
Like,
It's the fucking best, bro.
again, Last of Us did it well with Joel and Ellie, you know, having full blown conversations just as you're traversing the world. But like, this is top tier. This is the best I think it'll ever be, of just the in-game lore, the father-son moments with Mimir there. Like, that stuff is some of the most special things in the game. And if you were rushing around, going from place to place, it's not, you're gonna miss so much.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
I
really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Definitely. Not like, yeah, it's, oh man. I just can't wait to hear the stories that Mimir has to tell. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be good stuff. It's gonna be good stuff.
Yeah.
Man, fuck. I mean,
Now it's his second eye, right? Does that mean he's got that fog is lifted from him? That Odin put him under? Remember where
oh, that's
he
right.
couldn't remember Baldur's weakness until the moment that he punched the mistletoe arrow?
Maybe.
And it was like, oh, yeah. Like, now it's coming back to me. The fact that now he has his second eye, will he have more memories and have everything unlocked kind of thing?
Maybe, yeah, maybe. Because I think Mimir says it where like, Odin took my eye so that I could not travel.
Yeah.
Because it was only Mimir and Tyr that have those eyes to be able to travel to different realms and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to remember that. Is that why? Yeah,
Or,
I think they can freely travel throughout all the realms.
Well, no,
Right?
the
Something about
the
that.
stone allowed Tyr to do that. The reality stone or whatever it was.
That like dark. Yeah.
Dark. That is
dark
what allowed
stone.
Tyr to go over the place. I'm trying to remember what the
Yeah,
eyes do, but
what's the eye significance?
they're giant eyes for sure.
Yeah, it's something about the realms as well. But you're right. It was that stone that allowed Tyr to go. Wait, no, wasn't the stone to go into the realm between realms?
Jotunheim.
Oh, is it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait,
the
I
black
get
stone is what Tyr used to go to the other mythology.
the other pantheons,
Where
right?
he could, yes.
So is the eyes just eye versions of the like stone that is in front of all of the different realm travel sections, and like, is that what it
Believe
is?
So
That would actually make sense. That would make sense.
I'm trying to look up a wiki because
I feel like that would make
crazy.
sense because the giants intentionally like retreated to Jotunheim when Thor and Odin attacked them, right? And tried to wipe them all out in Midgard. And so I think they cut off all their access to the other realms. And they probably gave only those few stones to their trusted people, which is Mimir and Tyr. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think that might be it. Yeah. Those are the keys to Jotunheim. Yeah. The eyes.
Yeah, he tells him that his eyes can travel between realms, but doesn't know where his eyes are.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's why we go do that. Yeah. I thought there was more to like unlocking his memory with that.
Right.
But
Next week, we got some bets to make. We got some predictions to make. I'm gonna start building those over the course of the week, and I want some nice juicy predictions, nice juicy bets. You know what I'm saying?
Only the best.
It's gonna be some good stuff. It's gonna be some good stuff. But you got anything last minute to say on God of War 2018? I think I've said my piece. I have a newfound appreciation for the gameplay in this game. Story I already knew was phenomenal. It's better than I even thought it was. There's so much more that I picked up on. And yeah, it's definitely a masterpiece for sure. Like,
yeah, definitely a masterpiece. One of my favorite games ever made. Games I've played. I have very similar feelings about how I felt with The Last of Us 1 going into part 2, where like Ragnarok is this, just for me personally, a sequel that I don't think I needed to finish the story that we got in 2018.
Okay.
Like, I love the story 2018 did. I love the story Last of Us Part 1 did. The fact that I got Part 2 and it told the full, complete story, I'm so over the moon excited to have another full, complete story of Ragnarok in 2018 together, and it's just going to bolster what we just played in 2018. There's no way that whatever happens in Ragnarok is going to make that one like worse in comparison.
Right.
I might eat my own words, but like, you know, I got a good feeling. I got a great feeling.
There's one last thing I remembered about too. Again, who called the serpent when Atreus is sick? You know,
yes,
there's that, and also I noticed that whenever
was it Baldur? Was it Thor?
I think we'll find. I mean, we're gonna find out in Ragnarok. But like, how is that? You see how like how is that gonna be?
Or no, or apart. Was it
You know?
Was it Modi?
That will be a prediction question, definitely. But I have a.
Because that happens after. Yeah, no, that happens.
It's while you're going to get the Blaze of Chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens after Modi makes Atreus get angry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Could it be just him calling? No, that doesn't make sense.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, like there's.
Yeah.
Gaps.
I had that thought too. It was like, wait, who is that? And do they tell us later? And no, they didn't.
And then another thing I did notice, and this is on the iceberg. It's later on, so I haven't done research on it yet, and maybe we don't have the answer to it. And like that's just a entry on the iceberg that's like just saying, hey, like this is a thread, right? The weather changes when Atreus is sick, which he gets sick by becoming overly enraged. And the weather also is affected when he starts screaming at Sindri. You know? So there's something with that. I find it intriguing that Ragnarok also has these scattered storms that are supposed to happen, and the weather's like, there could be something there, but we'll see. But until then, Kyle, where can the people find you?
Mr. K-Step, Twitter, PSN, all that jazz. Follow the Trophy Room of PlayStation Podcasts on all podcast services. PS Trophy Room on Twitter. Weekly PlayStation Podcasts where we talk everything PlayStation. If you want to check out the latest and greatest in all things indie games, go hit up 61indie.com. That's SIXONEINDIE and 61IndieCast wherever you listen to podcasts and all that jazz.
Beautiful. Links below to all of Kyle's links down below in the description. And this has been Road to Ragnarok episode 4, the weekly podcast series dedicated to any and all things God of War Ragnarok, from news, lore, reactions, and upon release, our review and spoiler cast to end the series. Next week, we are doing predictions. It is the eve of our first. Oh, we're so fucking close. Oh, I totally forgot to say something. I live in Arizona, right? So we're not typically known for our cold, but on Monday, I let the dogs outside to use the facilities. You know what I'm saying? It's about 7 a.m. It was like 49 degrees, and I'm like, oh, I kind of a little chilly.
Ragnarok's coming.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, I love that. Yo,
that's awesome.
I'm like, it feels like Thimble winter. You know what I'm saying? I'm liking it.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it. So yeah, I'm very in quite a interesting parallel way where we got to play The Last of Us Part 2 in a pandemic, right?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not filmable winter, but like, it is fucking cold as
Absolutely.
shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
at least cold for me, being in Arizona, where you know, we're shivering.
The New Yorker sitting over here. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, 20's fine. I'm good.
Yeah, we're straight shivering at like 47 degrees. Like, we're like, oh man.
Yeah.
Like, oh man. Catch us over here on YouTube, like Opposite Plays and Swords, as well as podcast services just like Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, etc. via that anchor link down below in the description. Do not forget, we are giving away a copy of God of War Ragnarok. I'll have separate posts on Twitter this week to kind of just spruce it up. You know what I'm saying? But all you gotta do is rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and definitely go give us a rating there, and you'll be entered to win a copy of God of War Ragnarok. Down below, leave a like and or, like I said before, rate the podcast to be entered into the giveaway, as well as it does help us get seen by more viewers so we can grow the PSS family. Down below as well, let us know what you like or dislike about the show, and connect what's further on Twitter and Discord in the description. Feeling generous, hit that join button, become a member of the channel with the $1 Prince tier member, just like to be a Musa, and our $5 King tier members, just like Caleb Kaiser, the Iraq Knight, and the homie Owen as well. Definitely, I will have a breakdown for the combat trailer as well in the works, doing that. A lot of God of War stuff incoming as well. And yeah, thank you all for watching. And as always, greatness awaits. Hey, that was a good one. That was insane. Yes,
I remember this time.
Yes, sir.